guys. This is the first episode of the Maclean and Jim podcast. I'm Maclean. I come from the U.S. and I'm here today with
Jim. Hey guys, what's up? I'm from Germany and I'm just welcoming you guys to our podcast. And we're going to talk about different cultural influences and experience we've went through. So there are a lot of things we can talk about and compare.
So Jim's coming here from Germany. He's an exchange student this year. So I actually have a question for you, Jim. What made you want to come here to the U.S. for this exchange year?
That's a really good question. To be honest, so many people already ask me that, and it's always really the same answer. I just wanted to get to know more culture, learn more about the U.S. American culture, and especially improve my English skills because that's one of my skills I want to develop. Because it really will come in handy as I grow older to be fluent in English. That's what will look perfectly on my resume. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've came here from Germany as an exchange student. I've actually visited Germany for about a week and a half.
Oh yeah, where have you been?
I went to Stuttgart, Munich.
Oh,
Yeah, and then that was for an exchange trip last year with my German class. That was a pretty fun trip. I've been taking German, I think, since seventh grade with Mr. Vincelet.
I don't know him, but
Well, yeah, he's the middle school German teacher. And I think it's pretty similar to English in a lot of ways. A lot of
yeah,
the words.
they come from the same root. They're both Germanic languages, so it's probably easy to pick up a lot of things. But to be honest, I wouldn't want to study German as a second language because it's just so hard to pick up. There are so many grammatic causes and everything. It's just really hard, and I think it will be extremely annoying to learn in an older age. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think English is also a good language for you to learn, just considering not many big countries typically speak German as their first language. So I think it's pretty useful for you to be able to speak English,
Yeah, definitely.
especially so young.
Yeah, a lot of people speak English around the world. I mean, it's the world language for a reason. I don't recall meeting someone that doesn't have the slightest idea of speaking English. So yeah, it's just great to learn, and it's really helpful to know, and you'll get far in life with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just speak German and English though. You also speak French, Spanish.
Yeah, I know Polish because my mom immigrated from Poland at a young age. I want to say she was 6 years old. Um, yeah, she's basically uh, an economic refugee, if you want to say so, because she and her closest family, her mom, her dad, and her sister flew to Germany. They initially intended to go to Canada, but stopped midway in Germany. So, as I said, my mom's Polish, my dad's German. I've been taking French for probably 5 or 6 years in school. I actually stopped taking Spanish last year, um, but still, I know a couple words. I think I could hold a basic conversation in Spanish. But yeah.
So something else I was wondering is what are a few of the differences you see like out on the street or just in our school?
Oh, like I want to say, really, the whole school experience is different. All the people that live here, um, the entire school system. I mean, Germany has really a completely different school system. You have a different levels of high school, I want to say, and here it's really just you have one public high school. Sometimes people go to private high school, and that's it. Yeah, that's not the case in Germany. As I already said, like the people are really different. I want to say all the people you meet here are way more polite in some of the way in some way. That's really something I experienced, especially when I first came here. That everybody was so open to meeting me, and they just approached me and introduced themselves. And to be honest, I can promise you, if the roles were reversed, so say like if you would went to Germany and in an exchange year,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I couldn't promise you that people would just come up to you and introduce themselves and be nice and polite and everything, because like Germany is a really conservative country in like not in political views, but they're like all everybody lives in their own bubble. They just don't like to come out of come out of their comfort zone. They
Yeah.
just they don't like changes in
Mhm.
like social views. So they just want to have their inner circle, the people they know real good, and that's it.
I think, especially since you're new, I think like the idea of having an exchange student here the whole year is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Um, Especially like I remember when you came here and my friend Elliot was talking about you. He was hyping you up and saying you're,
Elliot Prince.
yeah,
Yeah, I know he's a special soul.
yeah. He was saying you're a really nice kid. So
Yeah, I played soccer with him.
yeah, and
It was really fun.
you also play basketball too, right?
Yeah, was really so successful.
Do you think basketball here is better or
Oh,
back in
basketball
Germany?
here is way better, but on the other hand, soccer in Germany is on a different kind of level.
Hmm.
So you really can just see people like how people embrace the different cultures.
Yeah,
Like basketball is such a high value here. Like everybody really knows basketball,
yeah.
and it's the same in Germany with soccer. Like everybody really embraced soccer. I can recall like in 2014 when Germany won the World Cup in soccer. It was such a huge thing. Everybody knew about it. Everybody was hyping it up. Even people that did never play soccer in their entire life. It's just you can see the culture sports bring with it. You know,
Yeah,
it's just so insane.
I mean, a lot people do care about the World Cup here as well, but I mean, it will never be as big. I personally think as like the Super Bowl or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
You guys went. You guys can't really watch the Super Bowl because it's late at night, right?
yeah. To be like, funny enough, I did watch one of the Super Bowls. I think it was I don't know which year it was, but it was Cincinnati Bengals against LA Rams. It was in one of the COVID years. Yeah, I've watched it and I had to pull an all nighter basically because it was so late. It started at like probably 12:30, which is not that late, but with all the halftime show and everything, I stayed up until like 4 a.m. and I had school the next day, so I just had to thug it out.
Mm. So when I'm thinking about big events like the World Cup or like the Super Bowl or something, it reminds me of like holidays too.
Yeah,
Uh,
what's that?
so for example, like Halloween for us, you guys have something called Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, Oktoberfest is pretty big,
Yeah.
especially like in Munich. The thing is, Oktoberfest is more of like a southern cultural thing. It's more like Bavaria, this area, and I'm from the northern part, so
Hmm.
it's not as embraced as celebrated as much as it is in the southern part, but it's still a pretty big thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you think you could describe what Oktoberfest is?
yeah. So when I think of Oktoberfest is like the big festival in Munich, like with all those huge tents. You drink a lot of beer. You have all those attractions and everything, and it just goes on for a couple of weeks. And it's a lot of hedonism and a lot of beer and alcohol and whatever you want. You just do what just flows your boat, basically. That's really what people picture when it comes to their mind. And what I've learned from people that have been there is that it's really commercial. So I was saying like a couple decades ago, like in the 90s, 2000s, it was really the Oktoberfest. You just went there with your friends, drank beer, and had a good time,
Yeah.
um, and just met other people. And now it's really just the beers are like really expensive. I know for like one of those big glasses, mugs, yeah, whatever you want to call it. You probably pay like 25 euros for it. It's
Wow.
insane. It's so expensive. So a lot of people just don't mind going there anymore. I mean, for this price, you can like easily go knock out at your home.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah,
another big cultural difference I think is the drinking age in both Germany and US. Like
definitely. Yeah,
here, you have to be 21 to drink any kind of alcohol.
yeah. Any kinds of alcohol. And in Germany, on the other hand, is you can buy beer and wine at the age of 16, and like liquor and all this hard stuff. You have to be 18 to buy it. It's still really young in comparison to America. But yeah, it's pretty big difference.
Do you think it's more beneficial to be able to buy alcohol at that young age because you can learn a bit more about it?
I think it is. It definitely is more beneficial because it just teaches. If we had a young drinking age and like a young driving age, I don't think it will be a good idea because it just will lead to more DUIs.
Hmm.
So I think it is good for the United States to either have one of those, so not have both. So either have young driving age or young drinking age, not both. But the problem in America is like you don't have a lot of public transportation here, so you're kind of a bit big of a problem if you don't have a car. You just can't get from A to B, so you're just stuck where you are. And the thing is, in Germany, like you don't have a problem if you don't have a car, so DUIs are not that big of a problem, and that's why I think it's good to not have a low driving age, and if you don't have a low driving age, you can have a low drinking age, and it just helps teaching younger people more about like responsibility with alcohol, and they start drinking it at a young age, like 16, and if they don't like it, they don't do it anymore. And on the other hand, like I don't really know it, but like maybe you can tell me more about second hand experience that like people that just turned 21, they go completely knock out and just
Yeah,
get fully hammered.
yeah. I mean, here especially, I know a lot of people in college. At 21, I think in a lot of people's eyes is a bit old, and I think that results in a lot of
I
people
get that.
getting in hospitals and stuff because they don't really know how to
Handle
use it.
themselves, yeah.
Yeah, but since you guys can learn how to drink responsibly at 16, 17, I think I think that's more beneficial in my opinion.
It definitely is because like people that are like 18, 19, like I know a lot of people that are in this age group, and I know that they stop really drinking that much because they just know that it's like it's not that special, I want to say. So they just stop doing it because like they're not really forced to do it, forced to learn what's all about it. So I think it's definitely beneficial to have a low drinking age.
So now my last question for you is you've been here for how long now in the US?
Must have been like almost 7 months, I think. Yeah, it's
Okay.
7 months and 7 days.
Okay, so you've been here for 7 months and 7 days. How does the US compare to Germany? And do you think it's better, worse, or about the same?
To be frank, like there's some aspects I like more about the US. There are some aspects I like more about Germany. It's hard to tell. Like it's really different because York is it's a pretty it's a town. It's a small town. We have like 20,000 people living here. And on the other hand, I'm from Hamburg, which is the second biggest city in Germany, um, with almost 2 million people. So it's just two different experiences, and I think that's what it's all about. Just living your life, not comparing it, just accepting that it's a new story, it's a new experience, and you just don't have to put it in comparison with other things.
Yep. So that's all for today's
Great.
episode.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in,
Yeah.
and
Next time.
yeah, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.